Hello, and thank you for downloading Cyberpunk Final Cut. This is the install video and setup guide. If you're on an AMD GPU, or on Intel's i9-13900K or 14900K, or you have a Ryzen X3D chip, the full description on the Nexus page has the hardware-specific extra steps you need. For everyone else, this video will do the trick to get you up and running. First things first, 3 things have to be true. 1. You own Cyberpunk 2077 with Phantom Liberty installed. Phantom Liberty is required. The collection breaks without it. 2. The game is patched to the latest patch version, which is 2.31a. Steam handles this automatically, but just make sure. 3. You have Vortex installed from nexusmods.com. If you don't have Vortex, it'll be linked in the description, so don't worry. One critical note about Vortex versions, and this changed very recently, so listen carefully. Vortex just released one of their biggest updates in years, version 2.0.0, released in May 2026, and it unfortunately had confirmed bugs that broke Cyberpunk Collection installs. Version 2.0.1 released May 12th, yesterday as of the day of this recording, and specifically fixes those bugs related to large collection installs. So the current recommendation is this: use Vortex 2.0.1 or later. If you're already on Vortex 1.16.9 and not having issues, that's also fine. It remains a known safe version. The one version you do not want to be on is 2.0.0 specifically. If you're stuck there, update to 2.0.1 immediately. The description has more detail if you need it. Short version 2.0.1 is good, version 1.16.9 is good, version 2.0.0 is bad. Moving on. Step 1 before touching anything in Vortex. You gotta clean up the game install. So, right-click Cyberpunk in Steam, go to Manage, Browse Local Files. Go to R6/cache, and delete everything in here. Don't worry, you'll get it right back. Delete everything, clear the recycle bin. Now back to Steam. Right-click Cyberpunk, click Properties, Installed Files, Verify Integrity of Game Files, and let this take the time that it needs to finish. Should take about 5 minutes. When Verify is done, again, go to Library, again, go to Cyberpunk, Manage, Browse Local Files, then go to bin/x64 and find this file, Chroma Editor Library 64.dll. Delete it. This is Razer's RGB integration DLL. It crashes Cyberpunk even on completely vanilla unmodded installs, even if you own 0 pieces of Razer hardware. And Steam re-downloads it every time you verify file integrity. So every time you verify files, you come back here and delete this DLL again. Get used to it, I'm sorry. While you're here, right-click Cyberpunk 2077.exe, go to Properties, make sure nothing is checked on here. Disable full screen optimizations, all of this stuff should not be enabled. This prevents a class of launch crashes. No checkbox here should be checked, okay? No compatibility mode, no full screen optimizations, nothing here should be on. And make sure you change these settings for all users as well. Last thing in this phase, disable every overlay you have. Steam overlay off. Every possible overlay you have for every game. MSI Afterburner, Xbox Game Bar, NVIDIA App overlay, Discord overlay, Steam overlay, Riva Tuner, Reshade, all that kind of stuff should be disabled. And I'll show you how right here. Right-click Cyberpunk, Properties, General, make sure this is off, all right? It gets in the way of stuff, it makes it crash. You don't need them for Cyberpunk. Now you go to Vortex, okay? Now, first things first, make sure your Cyberpunk 2077 extension is up to date. Click the Extensions tab over here on the left, look for Cyberpunk 2077 extension, and make sure it's on version 0.12.1, not 0.12.0. Vortex will not automatically prompt you that an update is available if you're not on the newest version. You have to manually download it if you don't already have it downloaded. So you have to do is go to this page on Nexus Mods, which will be linked in the description below, manually download 0.12.1, download it, and then you can just drag and drop that into Vortex if you don't already have it installed, and it'll prompt you to restart. You need to be on 0.12.1 or newer. If yours is 0.12.0 or older, you will get trapped in an endless REDmod conversion loop during install, and deployment will never finish. So again, you see here, extensions, Cyberpunk 2077, 0.12.1. Not only do you have to manually install it, but if you have the older 0.12.0 version, you have to manually delete it. Vortex counts this as a brand new extension rather than overriding the old one. So if you have 0.12.0, you not only have to manually download 0.12.1, but you also have to manually delete 0.12.0. Now Vortex settings. Go to Settings and Interface. All of these should be disabled. Deploy mods when enabled, install mods when downloaded, enable mods when installed, run Vortex when my computer starts. I have all of these off. You should also have profile management on. I also recommend this one. Bring Vortex to foreground when starting downloads in browser. Now go to V2077 settings. These are very important, okay? Do not skip this step, don't fuck this up. It should look exactly like this, okay? First, automatically convert legacy style .archive mods to REDmods on install. Disable this. Make sure it's disabled. This is a a very bad setting. You never want this on, and sometimes Vortex will trick you. This setting randomly toggles itself back on between Vortex updates, and it will break your install if it's on. Make sure this is off before you do anything. Next, don't prompt when reaching the fallback installer. This should be on, okay? Otherwise, the install pauses every few mods, waiting for you to click through a pop-up. While you're configuring Vortex, take another 30 seconds to enable additional mod info columns. So go to your mod list here by clicking mods. Go to the right and click this gear icon in the top right over here, okay? You'll want to ensure that the following columns are enabled: version, author, mod size, installation time, enabled time, downloaded time, category, dependencies, highlight. With these enabled, you can sort by exactly when a file was downloaded, installed, or enabled, which makes it dramatically easier to figure out what's going on if something acts up later, or just to have more information about your mod list. You can sort by installation time, enable time, downloaded time, the size of the file. It just makes your life easier. Your future self will thank you for taking these 30 seconds. One more critical check. Go to the mods panel in settings, and the mod staging folder should be the same as your Cyberpunk install path. If it's not, you can press suggest and then it'll apply. It makes your life easier, again. Also, if you go to theme, you can make the font bigger, which is, I prefer to have a bigger font just here. And if you want to copy my theme and have your Vortex look exactly like my Vortex, you can just copy the settings you see here. Also, if the interface looks different, you can press this setting on 2.0.0 and up branch, so 2.0.1, and use the legacy Vortex UI, which I personally prefer. Another 2 useful Vortex settings worth applying before you add the collection, and shoutouts to SoulMine Berlin for these. First, disable install while downloading for up to 20 times faster install speeds. So this is in settings, then download, and you'll see this toggle here. Install mods during collection downloads. The default behavior tries to install mods as their downloads complete, which at this collection scale creates I/O contention. Your disk is reading mod data for installation at the same time it's writing new download data, and the two phases fight each other. Disabling this means downloads run at full bandwidth first, then installation runs as a separate phase afterwards. Users have reported install speeds increasing roughly 20 times with this single toggle, genuinely transformative for installs of this scale. The workflow after disabling: let Vortex download everything to completion. When downloads finish, restart Vortex. So go to the downloads tab, sort by recent, which you do by clicking the downloaded tab. Find all items showing status finished and click install. So you can just go like this. See? And it says install right here in the bottom left. You can do it in chunks, you can do it all as you like. It should be faster than the normal method of how Vortex likes to do things. Second, if you ever step away from the install and come back later, use the resume button on the existing collection entry. Do not click add collection again. Vortex treats adding as a brand new collection rather than resuming, which creates duplicate registered entries for the same collection. Each duplicate causes Vortex to track the same mods multiple times in its conflict resolution graph. 3 or 4 duplicates can slow Vortex to a crawl. 10 or 15 can make it appear frozen entirely. If you ever see Cyberpunk The Final Cut listed multiple times in your collections tab, you have duplicate entries. Safely remove them until only one remains. Vortex performance will recover dramatically. Now, reinstall the collection. Go to the Nexus page for Cyberpunk The Final Cut and click Add Collection. Vortex will start downloading and installing mods. Now, there's a ton of mods. This is going to take 2 to 3 hours, so get comfortable or leave your computer on. You can leave Vortex running in the background, just don't bury its window completely behind another full screen application. 2 specific things will happen during the install you should know about. 1, you'll see can't figure out how to install this mod pop-up for certain mods. When that pop-up happens, click yes, install, and don't ask again. These mods are fine. Vortex just doesn't recognize their folder structure. The pop-ups are advisory, not errors. Vortex keeps promising us they have fixed this issue in updates, yet it still persists, and I'm sorry for that. We have a workaround for it, both on the collection description page and linked in the description here on YouTube below. 2, if Vortex appears to freeze, especially around the end of the install, around 99%, alt-tab through all your other windows and look for a hidden pop-up behind them. Vortex sometimes spawns dialogues that get buried behind other apps. Or just restart Vortex. That should fix it if it's stuck at 99%. If you want a fully automated AFK install, the description of this video and of the collection has a section on Pullover's macro creator, auto-clicks the pop-ups for you. Optional, but useful if you want to walk away, and I'm sorry that this is the best option that we have right now. While this collection is installing, you can do this step in parallel. There's a OneDrive folder linked in the description called Additional Files. Download it now. So you click this, download it wherever you like. I recommend you make a mods folder and then per game mods folder. Just makes your life easier. It will take a little bit of time, but once this file is downloaded, this folder is required, not optional. It contains appearance menu mod prop assets, custom radio station files, and some cosmetic mods that Vortex's auto installer can't handle correctly. Without this folder, custom locations in this collection will not function and will have missing furniture and props and missing collision. With this folder, everything works. The collection does not need appearance menu mod itself, only these files for your ease of use. Once that folder is downloaded, extract the contents directly into your Cyberpunk 2077 game folder. Pretty much everybody, it'll be your drive, Steam Games, Steam Library, Steam Apps, Common, Cyberpunk 2077. Extract it into this directory. I'll also have a sample down below in the description. The internal folder structure of the archive mirrors the game directory, so extraction puts files in the right subdirectories automatically. The collection description explains what's in this folder exactly if you're curious, including a full credit list to every mod author. For now, just download and extract. Quick note up front for AMD GPU users. This section is NVIDIA specific. If you're on a Radeon card, the AMD equivalent is the Adrenalin app and the FSR override system, and the full guidance is in the collection description. It varies depending on whether you have an RX 9000 series, RX 7000 series, or older. DLSS Swapper, the program, also handles FSR DLL upgrades if you want to go that route, and it is recommended if you have an AMD card. 5-minute read in the description, you'll know exactly what to do. The next few minutes of this video are NVIDIA only, so AMD users can skip ahead to the external utility section. For everyone on NVIDIA hardware, before launching anything, configure the NVIDIA app for proper frame pacing. Doing this before first launch prevents the class of crashes that comes from G-Sync, desync during heavily modded scenes. If you launch with wrong settings, you might trigger those crashes on your very first session and waste the install you just did. So open the NVIDIA app, find Cyberpunk 2077 in the program list, and click its per game settings. The configuration depends on your GPU generation. If you have an RTX 40 series card, 4070, 4080, 4090, any of those, set your max frame rate to 3 below your monitor's refresh rate. So for example, if you have an 165 Hz monitor, like me, set it to 162. 144 Hz, set it to 141. 240 Hz, 237. Make sure VSync is off and power management mode should be set to prefer maximum performance. If you have an RTX 50 series card, like me, 5070, 5080, 5090, different setup. Do not set a max frame rate. Set driver VSync to off. Then enable Dynamic Frame Generation Override right here. See? Set the target FPS to refresh rate -3. So for example, again, my monitor's refresh rate is 165 Hz, -3 of that is 162. And set the multiplier up to 6x. Again, power management mode, prefer maximum performance. The reason for the 3 FPS gap. G-Sync only kicks in when your frame rate is below your monitor's refresh rate. If you hit the ceiling exactly, G-Sync disengages and frame pacing breaks, which causes crashes during particle-heavy moments. The 3 FPS cushion keeps you always safely in G-Sync's active range. For DLSS itself, in the same NVIDIA app per game panel, click DLSS Override, set model presets to custom, set super resolution to preset K, ray reconstruction recommended, and frame generation recommended. This gives you the current April 2026 release DLSS 4 transformer model without manually swapping any DLLs. 3 quick utilities to install. None take more than a minute each, and each will save you time. Doing these before first launch so all system level setup is in place before the game ever runs. 1. Pagefile. Windows needs a substantial page file for this modded install or you'll hit memory crashes during heavy scenes. Press the Windows button on your keyboard plus R to bring up the Windows Run box. Enter the following: this dm.cpl and press enter. Go to the Advanced tab. Go to Performance and click Settings. Then in the Performance box that comes up, press Advanced again, go to the Advanced tab again, and press Virtual Memory Change over here. Go to the drive where the game is installed. Now, you want to uncheck where it says Automatically Manage Paging File Size, click Custom Size, and set a large size. I recommend at minimum to set the initial size and maximum size to 25,000. That means 25 gigabytes. More is better, and it can only be better. I increased mine to 32 gigabytes, and I saw a performance improvement. You'll need to restart after doing this, so press OK, OK, OK. Next, NSG Optimization Tools, and this is available on Nexus mods. So it'll be linked in the description, so download this. I already have it downloaded and I'll show you it running. Few things first. So after you extract it, you want to find the logo, right click, run as administrator. You must run this program as an administrator. Now, a few things. If you actually want to get the benefit of using this program for Cyberpunk 2077, you actually have to run the game and find the exe first. Or what you can do is go to the Cyberpunk directory and add it this way. So it'll be in Cyberpunk in your Steam directory, Cyberpunk 2077 bin/x64 cyberpunk 2077.exe. Just doing this by clicking fast optimization will do pretty much everything for you, but I'll still run you through it anyways just to make sure you're on top of it. So GPU optimizations. Again, I already have this enabled, but you should definitely apply this. So there's a few very critical ones. The first one, like I said here, is TDR optimization. Click this to apply it automatically. And then the next one in system optimization is control flow guard. So I'll go through these one by one. The TDR fix extends Windows GPU timeout windows so heavily modded scenes don't trigger driver resets. Basically, it means that the gap between when you get a response from your GPU can be longer without the game just crashing, which is necessary for a game that's this heavily modded. The next is Control Flow Guard. Again, you need to add the EXE to this. Essentially, every single thing in this program is useful and will decrease the chances of crashing. You'll also want to scroll down on the GPU Optimizations tab and force high performance, disable P states. Shader cache we'll get to later. Don't get in the habit of pressing this too often. Okay? But for all of these, in the System Optimizations tab, you'll actually need to have the game running and add the EXE of the game to it manually. It will detect it if it's there. As you see, I've already added Cyberpunk 2077 EXE to it. I have the entire directory in there. What you'll want to do is copy and paste your entire Cyberpunk 2077 directory, the entire Steam directory, and paste it here so that Microsoft Defender ignores it, data execution prevention ignores it. This one is for the EXE, but you can also just type cyberpunk 2077.exe and add it like that. So add the folder, add cyberpunk 2077.exe to all these here. It'll cut down on a lot of Windows-based crashing, make your life easier. Run this as an administrator, keep it running while you play the game. You can also flush your memory, which can help reduce stuttering in some games. Everything in this program is useful and will cut down on crashing. Okay, a very, very useful program, free, saves you time, spares you from crashing, no reason not to use this program. That's one, okay? Third, also available from Nexus, is the Cyberpunk Priority Tool. So go to Nexus, download this, high priority with interface, the most recent one. I already have it downloaded, extract it here. Also run this as an administrator. Make sure that the mode is autofocus after you set the EXE path. You want focus priority high, unfocus priority normal, okay? Minimize to tray, apply now save settings, and you want to keep this one also running while you play Cyberpunk 2077, okay? Leave it running in the background, and this will cut down on alt-tab stutters and just generally prevent memory leaks while you're running the game, or if you alt-tab while playing the game especially. If you have a Ryzen X3D chip, 7800X3D, 7950X3D, 9800X3D, or 9950X3D like me, there's a fourth utility called Process Lasso that you should set up. If you have an Intel i9 13900K or 14900K, there's a different procedure using Intel XTU. Both these cases are covered in detail in the description. For everybody else and those people, the three utilities above are all you need. Then you can come in here to Vortex. Assuming your collection is downloaded and good to go, wait for everything to finish installing and being enabled here. Then just to be safe, in case you have any leftover mods from a prior install or anything like that, press Purge. All this does is remove everything you have enabled in Vortex from out of the Cyberpunk directory. If you ever update any mods or anything, it's just a good habit to do this before you deploy again. Not necessary, but a good housekeeping tip. Purge, then deploy. Wait for everything to deploy in Vortex. Might take a little time. See, now everything is deployed. Great. Vortex will probably tell you some mods are redundant. This is completely fine and normal to ignore. Doesn't mean anything, not bad. Then go to Steam, library. One last thing, after verifying file integrity in Steam, you might want to go, sometimes this can help, toggle the REDmod DLC on and off, and it can prompt a little update. You see like that? So go back to Steam, launch Cyberpunk 2077 through Steam. This will prompt the CDPR RedLauncher window to appear. Click the gear icon next to play and verify enable mods is checked. Then click play. Now, as you'll notice, this is deploying mods separately from Vortex. Watch the progress bar finish. The first launch can take a while, so be patient, roll a joint, brew a coffee, wait, chill out. If you're not sure if the game is launching, you can go to your task manager and you should see that the Cyberpunk 2077.exe is active in the background, preparing everything for you. You'll notice the CET overlay in the bottom right. Now, it's fine and perfectly normal for this to take a while, and in fact, you can actually even close out of the game completely at this point. You're never launching the game via Steam to play it anyways. And usually, in fact, the game crashes for me here, and you can celebrate because this is the only time where the game crashing will ever actually be a good thing. After this one-time initialization, you never launch via RedLauncher again. From now on, you always launch through Vortex's play button at the top of the Vortex window, or you launch Cyberpunk 2077 EXE directly from the bin/x64 folder. Launching the game through RedLauncher and Steam fights with mod injectors on ongoing launches and causes random crashes. You can actually just completely close out of the game at this point. I just pressed Alt F4 to close out. It's not necessary, okay? So I recommend personally launching the game through the actual shortcut in the folder itself. I've had the least problems launching it this way. So make sure that the actual process is closed. You see if I were to launch it now, that it would yell at me. So you can just close this task. Now that I know for a fact that Cyberpunk 2077 EXE is not running, now I can safely click the actual EXE in the folder itself. And again, if you're not sure if it's running at this point, you can just go to Task Manager, and you should see that Cyberpunk 2077 EXE is indeed running and preparing for you to have some epic gaming. See, here you go. Now the game is launching the right way, not from Steam, not from RedLauncher. Now, the first launch can take 5 to 15 minutes for the disk spinner in the top right to even start moving. Game is loading a ton of shit right now. Thousands of scripts, materials, custom assets, framework initializations. You are not frozen. It is normal for this to take a long time. If you're curious as to what's going on, you can press tilde and see shit loading in real time. But unfortunately, due to the sheer magnitude of shit being loaded right now, it just takes time, and I'm sorry for that. If you'd like, you can walk away because the game will play a sound, the breaching screen music to let you know that things are loaded. So just turn your volume up, walk away, make some food. If you hear music coming from your PC, congratulations, it worked. Also normal that before this little disk spinner and the thing even starts moving, it'll show up here frozen. This is normal. First it shows up frozen, then it starts to spin, then you're loaded into the game and you should hear the breach menu music. So now I'm going to mute the game and walk you through some in-game settings before we actually start playing, some other stuff that's helpful here. So we're going to do all this in-game setup in one continuous main menu session. So go to settings, sound, and make sure use XAudio API is enabled. If this is not enabled and you enable it, you need to restart the game. And also more importantly, you cannot do this from a save. You must do this before you load into any save. It must be enabled from the main menu. So make sure this is on, settings, sound, scroll down, make sure use XAudio API is enabled. The game will prompt you to restart. This is the single most important audio stability fix for the collection. Without it, you'll get audio dropouts, crashes when multiple audio sources play simultaneously, and skipping on custom radio stations. This toggle does not appear in-game once a save is loaded. You must set it from the main menu before doing anything else. Next, go to mods and scroll down to Watchdog. You want to ensure, first of all, this mod is enabled and that this kill process thing is set to 360. It should be configured automatically, but if it's not, set it to 360. If you still have crashes, try setting it down to 240. This controls how long the game waits for CPU response before treating a hitch as a crash. The default is too aggressive for a heavily modded install. 360 gives breathing room. Next, go back to settings, video, make sure it's in windowed borderless. Do not set maximum FPS in here, leave that to the NVIDIA app. Now in the graphics tab, if you're running a 5090 like me or a 50 series card and trying to push the game and you did everything in the NVIDIA app that I followed, it should look like this. So quick preset custom, DLSS super resolution, transformer model, auto, DLSS reconstruction on, DLSS frame generation, 4x high. Even though this says 4x, if you set it to dynamic frame generation in the NVIDIA app and 6x, it will go up to that. Path tracing, I never set crowd density above medium. I don't think you get much return. I also don't think it makes sense for the game. Everything else here is about normal. I never max out screen space, reflections quality, and level of detail. This is an important one. I never set it to high. Setting it to high, I mean, look, I have a 5090. I can't run the game that well on LOD with high, so you can't either. Medium is more than good enough. You'll never notice the difference. Next, gameplay. So skipping dialogues, I find continues to be more useful. Tutorials, whatever, it's useful. Turn the nudity sensor off. This is Night City, don't be a prude. Turn off, enable cross-platform saves. Turn off, enable analytics. Both these are performance syncs that give you no benefit whatsoever on a modded setup. Sync to vehicle radio is useful. Utilities. Even on an SSD, auto or on for HDD mode is a benefit to performance, and there's almost no reason to not have it on. The name is a misnomer completely. Another housekeeping step, eventually something will go wrong. NVIDIA or AMD will push a driver update as they did yesterday on NVIDIA's end, then it validates your shader cache. You'll add or remove some mods. The game will start stuttering in places or crashing it didn't before. 90% of the time, clearing your GPU and game caches fix it. I recommend doing this before you even play the game the first time, just to be sure. Don't get in the habit of doing this because you'll want a nice built-up shader cache to ensure the most smooth performance, but I'm putting all the cache paths in the description of this video so you can copy and paste them straight into the Windows run box. Press Windows plus R to bring up the Windows run box, paste an address, hit enter to immediately navigate there, Control A to select all, delete to remove. Don't delete the folders themselves, only their contents. Windows and your GPU driver need the folder to exist so the caches can rebuild. NVIDIA just pushed out a new driver yesterday, so I'll clear my cache right now in the video and you can follow along. Again, the commands to enter the Windows run box will be posted below in the description. DS3DS cache, delete. NVIDIA GL cache, delete. NVIDIA DX cache, delete. It'll tell you some are in use, whatever, you can skip. NGX, delete the stuff in there. And if you're already manually deleting your caches and stuff like that, then you can use this clear shader cache option in NSG Optimizations. But again, don't press this every time. Let your shader cache build up. You should only clear your shader caches if you have an actual specific issue you're trying to solve, or if you've updated mods, or if you've recently updated video drivers. Otherwise, just let it build and leave it alone. For AMD users, the cleanest path is Adrenaline's built-in shader reset, and then a few manual paths, which will also link in the description. All the commands are again in the description below. And after clearing caches, expect 1 to 2 sessions, maybe 3, of stuttering as the cache rebuilds. This is temporary, don't re-clear, just play through and let it stabilize. By session 4, you're back to baseline. That should pretty much be everything for the typical install. You should now be able to load a save and play. Last few things here about the mods themselves. This is a 4,000 plus mod install. It's entirely normal that some mods occasionally don't install or download correctly. If a specific mod looks broken in-game, behaves unexpectedly, or just acts funny, that mod alone, not the whole collection, the fix is almost always the same. Right-click the mod in Vortex, like this, press reinstall, bada boom, bada bang, replace the existing mod, continue. And if that doesn't work, you can just delete the mod completely, re-download it fresh from Nexus and reinstall it. Bits and bytes can get scrambled during download in ways Vortex doesn't always detect. A fresh download almost always fixes one-off mod misbehavior. This is a routine maintenance pattern, not a sign something seriously wrong. Second, about crashes. You may crash once or twice in the first 2 to 3 hours of play, or even loading into a save. This is normal. The shader cache is building. If you crash on loading a save, just try loading it again, up to 3 attempts. By session 3, your cache should be stable and the crashes should be back to baseline. Third, about saves. When you save, face V towards a wall or the ground rather than out over a dense city vista. This minimizes the work the engine has to do when reconstructing the save on load. Sounds weird work. And if you hit a problem the video didn't cover, and you probably will eventually, the full description on the Nexus page has a complete troubleshooting tree that should cover every problem imaginable. Access violation crashes, audio issues, install problems, NVIDIA driver issues, save corruption, everything. It's long, but it's searchable. You can just control F your problem. And if that's too annoying, copy and paste the entire performance install guide into an AI of your choice. I recommend Claude or Gemini. Tell the AI your specific hardware and have the AI handhold you through whatever tech issues you might have. If you can't find the answer there, the Discord is linked in the description. Join it. I'm there. The community is there. We'll help you. Now that that's all said and done, welcome to Night City the way it was always meant to be. Have fun, Shooms.